Hi, and welcome to the podcast. Now, clearly, there's some change of scenery. It kind of, honestly, it looks so grown. You know what? I didn't do any of that intro looking at you guys. 1 second. Take two. Hi, and welcome to the podcast. Now this is really awkward because I feel like that was very, you know what? We're going with it. We're just rocking with it. So clearly there's some things that are a little bit different. Like the background's very different. It honestly looks very like sophisticated, if I do say so myself. And also I'm alone. So obviously you could see these two things very clear and apparent. I didn't plan on doing this alone, if I'm being honest with you, but my friends flaked on me. Love them dearly. But, this is just what we're rocking with now. We're doing a solo podcast. And I'm actually kind of excited. Like, granted, I intentionally wanted to do things with guests and avoid being alone, like to not do something alone. But I feel like if there's some patterns in my life right now, it is that some things I need to do alone, apparently. Even a podcast. So we're just gonna roll with it. It's like, fuck it, we're doing it. I'm also injured. I got runner's knee. We'll get into why just a little bit later, but I got runner's knee, so my legs over here propped up. So if I'm weirdly like kind of turned, that's actually why. And if you're listening to this, you can't see that at all. But if you're watching it, that's why. If I start fiddling with something over here, it's my knee that's currently those aren't words. Currently a little bit crippled. But I have a new background going on. We're off the couch and into some chairs, a little bit more elevated. I really, really like it. I feel like if I worked here, like if I did things here where like I actually tried to be productive throughout my day or even the past week, let's just dive into why my leg is like this. Okay, so basically, long story short, I did a 5K. And you know what? Like everyone was saying, like, 5K is 3 miles. Like, you got it. It's just 3 miles. No. They're wrong. Tell them to actually shut up, because 3 miles is a lot of goddamn miles. Okay, 3 miles is like, think about, okay, when you were in PE and you had to like run a mile to like pass whatever like PE test, which is really fucking stupid in general. But like, you had to run a mile around the track. Like that's like 4 laps around like a regular track. And to pass, I think you had to get under like 16 minutes, like 20 minutes. It was something that really wasn't that difficult, if I'm honest, but it was really hard. And it's just as hard now being 24. Literally from 14 to 24, I have physically apparently not changed very much. So yeah, it's 3 of those bitches. That's the whole point of it. It's 3 of them. It's kind of a lot, not gonna lie to you. Let me silence my phone before I do something stupid. There, perfect. Okay. It's kind of a lot, not gonna lie to you. And I didn't think anything was wrong with my knee. And then like a couple of weeks later, that bitch was swollen and I was like, I can't walk. So now we're here. And ask me, Dani, why'd you do a 5K? I'll tell you why I did a 5K. There was a certain, species of a human who one might call attractive, okay, that I knew was going to be there. Here's that accent. I really gotta dead that shit one day, but not today. And anyhow, so I knew this person was going to be there. So I was like, okay, let me just go. Like my friend's organization, like organizes it. And like, I was like, can we just like go? You know what I mean? And my friend ended up not being there, but I was just like, okay, I'm going to go. Like, it's going to be exercise. I'm pretty good shape. Like I exercise regularly. I'm just going to go. I did it. Honestly, I'm very proud of myself. I did like a really good job. I met this friend because we were this girl, I totally forgot her name, but we were running like the same pace. So she had like the Nike running app. I thought it was really cool. Highly recommend. I mean, let me take that back. I'm not doing this shit again. So I don't recommend it. I don't care if you get it or not, because I'm never gonna do it again. But she had it, so like we were doing the same pace. So she was telling me I got like 9 minutes on the first mile, like 10 something on the second mile, and we brought it back down to like a little bit in between 9 and 10 minutes on the third mile. So, and it's like a little bit of, it's like 3 miles and some change. It's really honestly a hoax. Like a 5K sounds like it's just a 5K. Like you can come do. No, it's a fucking lot. Okay, it's a lot. That was really aggressive. That was, but honestly, it was a lot. And I regret it now. Being on the other side of it, clearly injured, I regret it. And if you're asking, oh, well, Dani, like, how'd it go with the guy? Nothing happened. Literally, he could have cared absolutely less about my existence. And when I got there, I was like, you know what? It's not as great as you're not what I thought. So it was a half and half. Like we both played our roles. But that's what happened, and that's why I'm injured. And now we're here, awkwardly kind of turning this way. But I'm really in a weird way grateful. I think that the universe, God, however you believe, whatever you believe in, does at some points make us stop. He forces us to be super, super present, or the universe, again, however you relate to your higher power. And I will say that this week has been actually very challenging to me. I have one more week that I'm supposed to like really stay off my knee. But this week has been really, really challenging for me in a way of like, I've been forced to really, really get in tuned to what I was doing. And I had a couple breakdowns. Okay. No panic attacks. We're doing great there. Have I said I have panic attacks on this podcast? I don't know if I have. I didn't plan for this to be a mental awareness type of podcast, but here we are. So yeah, I have panic attacks, and I've had them probably for the past like 3 years. In 2019 is when I had my first one. And then I had like multiple, and that's when I started doing therapy, which I know we have talked about on this podcast, is therapy. So yeah, I have panic attacks, and I feel like I hadn't had one in a long time since being in a relationship. When I was in a relationship, I had them a lot. I don't think it was because of the person. I just think that it was a time where I had a lot of panic attacks, and I had them before I met him, and I had them during. But since we broken up, I haven't had like any. And then except for this week, I was starting to like really feel, swells of anxiety come up, and which usually result to me in a panic attack if I'm not able to stop it soon enough. So this week was a little bit of that. It honestly was. And it kind of like shocked my body and my mind to be like, okay, what about being still? Because I really don't think it was a part of being alone. I think might have been a little bit of being alone, but a lot more of being still and not being able to do things, I was going to say by myself, but really for myself. Like I can't drive. That's really annoying. I don't really want to ask people for help, I'm noticing. And usually I'm pretty good about accepting help when it's asked, but I've noticed I have a problem with asking for help. And I have a great group of friends. I love them all so much, even when they flake on me for a podcast, but you know who you are, best. I love you, girl. But yeah, like I really feel like there's something about asking for help that I didn't know I had a complex about. And now being in this situation, it's like, okay, well, what about asking for help makes me feel uncomfortable? What about reaching out to people who have already shown love and I know that they're there for me and I'm 100% there for them, whatever they need? Why am I not okay taking space that's available to me in that relationship of the friendship? And to be honest, I don't have the answer yet. It sounded like I was going to tell you something amazing. I don't know actually yet, but I do know that I feel as though the friends that have shown up for me and the ones that I've actually been comfortable enough to, when I'm really in like a moment of feeling like I'm spiraling, have shown up. And having your tribe, people that understand you, like genuinely understand you, and even if they don't understand you, they're willing to grow to understand you, is so balancing to me, at least. That makes me feel like I have somewhere to lean. And for me personally, dealing with panic attacks and high functioning anxiety, I go up and down, not too far, but I do have my days where I really, the scale can be like fully over here, fully over here. For those listening, I'm just making like what are those called? Oh my God, what are those? I think it's called a scale. But those ones that like, okay, there was this movie and it's a kid's movie and it's like about fairy tales, and there was like these two little I don't know, it was like a lizard. He had like a wizard hat. I don't know what they really were, but like it was basically the balance of good and evil. And like it was those circular, oh shit, I hit the mic. I do that every episode, but it was like these circle things. And like if you put one side down was evil in like a storybook, like Cinderella, and like a stepsister would win or something. I'm getting very off topic, clearly, but like imagine that. If you're listening, imagine that. And that's what I'm doing with my hands. That was not a good example. It's okay. We're gonna keep going forward. This is where other people, I think, really come in handy, because then I would like have someone to, bounce off of. But it's just me and my high functioning anxiety. Cheers. But yeah, I can bounce back and forth really quickly, or not quickly. I can go back and forth in a way that sometimes I feel like I need other people to. Need is a strong word. It severely helps. It really, really helps when I have friends or family or just people around me who can restore my balance. But I also think that when you have mental illnesses, it sometimes can feel like a burden for people. It feels like a burden to tell people. It feels like a burden to express to people, like, oh, this is something I go with or I go through. Because usually for me, it helps me when I have other people involved in my moment. So from having anxiety, it helps me to be around other people. So I have to inform people if I am having, I call it like an anxiety flare. Sometimes they're really short, sometimes they're longer. But I'm just like, hey, I'm having a little bit of anxiety right now, just so you know. And that's just where I am. And then we have the respect to be like, okay, she has it. She didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for anything. She just told me how she is. And like, noted, I got it. So if I do something and you feel uncomfortable, then like we don't have to hang out or be in that space together. But luckily for me, all my friends are very understanding, and some deal with what I deal with in different ways. Like we all have levels of mental illness. That sounds weird to say, but I think it's just so much more common when we can identify it ourselves. So yeah, I think that's something I really learned this week by being still, by not choice. But it's okay. And that's even weird to say. Like, it is okay. Like, it really is okay to feel like not like I have to need someone. I think there's a real beauty in needing other people around you, even though it's good to, to be self-sufficient, and that's, to each his own. But needing someone in a way of like, I need to have people around me who care for me and love me, because it also made me reevaluate my friendships and like the people who held space for me. It was like, wow, it got us closer as friends, and it also made me feel like I'm doing a good job creating my circle. I feel like I'm very, very picky already when it comes to people, because I don't really hang out with many people, to be honest. Like, I don't really have that many friends. So in the space of having friends in a time where I needed them, I was very, very, it might have gone a really different way mentally for me if I was surrounding myself with people who really did not have my back and did not create space for me and didn't make me feel seen and me feel that my existence as a person who's now currently in a state where she is on the lower end of the stick, where she's not really feeling that great, is okay. And I'm here to help you. And that tribe you create, you'll really quickly notice when they're not there for you when you go through something like this. If you're someone who deals with this, and again, everyone has their own, struggles. It could be like going through a breakup. It could be a family thing. It could just be like, you're just having like a shit day, and like you don't even know fucking why you're having a shit day. It's just like a shit day. And then how people react around you really tells you like what type of friends you have, and like if that's something you could like really rock with, if you gotta like kick some people out, which it be like that sometimes, because I definitely was in that space at one point too, where you just have to kind of move through friends, and that's okay. Wow, doing a solo podcast, I kind of like it. It's not that bad. I'm having a great old dandy time, to be honest. Now I am realizing that I don't know what to talk about next, so I feel like, oh wait, do you know what this looks like? Like ASMR videos. Hi guys, how are you? Okay, I'm gonna stop because I feel like I'm gonna be really freaked out, but I love, and I really mean like have a deep rooted affinity for ASMR videos. Now, not the weird, I'm gonna say they're not weird, but like weird subjective, but I really like ASMR videos that have to do with like when they, like, it's definitely about like sounds. I like tapping, like when they do this shit right here. Ready? Puts me to bed. Absolutely. I will go straight into a slumber. But I also like the ones where they're just like saying really nice things like, it's okay. This is gonna freak some people out. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But like, honestly, also if you have anxiety or if you have insomnia or you just want a way to like decompress at the end of the night, highly recommend ASMR videos. But like do what you want to do. You can like whatever you want to like. I recommend doing like tapping, like typing in ASMR tapping. Because if you just type in ASMR, you're gonna get some weird shit. I saw this one that was like, and again, I'm not judging, I'm just saying what I don't watch. I saw this one that was like my ASMR boyfriend, or like titled like your ASMR boyfriend, and to me that was a level too far. Okay, a little bit too far for me. I felt like that might be for people who are alone, creating relationships with people who, that's not the best. You know what? Again, I'm going to take everything I'm saying absolutely back, because again, subjective. If you need your ASMR boyfriend, you watch that ASMR video titled Your ASMR Boyfriend, and I support you. 110%. I support you. Oh my God, my friend's calling me. I feel like I should answer this, but I'm also recording a podcast. Okay, we're going to pause and I'll be right back. Look at that. Friends showing up for me. It's just so nice to have fucking friends who like care about you and check on you when you don't respond in a long amount of time. Okay. I don't know what I was talking about before. I'm sure it was loosely related to the ASMR or it was exactly ASMR, but whatever. So here's my thing, guys. This is what I found out that's kind of like rocking my world a little bit. You guys know I love, and I do mean love Island. It is my deepest, most, like, it's never, no show like has my heart the way Love Island has my heart, specifically the UK version. But guys, something's in the water. I don't know if someone's really like, I don't know what's the shift, if like it's a change in tides, if like something's in a retrograde. But when I tell you I have been obsessed with Love Island US, I literally don't even want to admit it to myself. But honestly, Love Island US, guys, I'm losing my shit. Over it. Like, it's crazy. So we just have to dive into this. Okay, if you guys are not up to, where did I leave off? I am after Casa Amor. Like the episode where everyone comes back to Casa Amor and recouples. Like, I know who recouples with who after Casa Amor, and I haven't seen anything after that. So if you have not gotten to that part in Love Island, do not listen to like the next 5 minutes. Like, skip 5 minutes ahead in this podcast, come back, because I gotta tell you guys something. When I tell you, I strongly, and I mean strongly, do not understand how Cinco cannot make up his goddamn mind. Like, well, how can this man have not only cachet, okay, not only Trina, but then Leslie come in and be like, oh, you just made my life like 3 times harder. Like, it's crazy. Like, I like cachet, but like I'm with Trina and I like Trina. I don't want to hurt nobody. You know what I don't understand is like, and maybe this is just like a male thing. Maybe it's just like the male species themselves, because, and I'm gonna put that is genderizing, and I'm putting it on you guys. I'm not gonna take it back either, because let me tell you why. I don't understand how guys don't get that you have to make a decision. You have to pick. Like, you're gonna meet people who are all gonna be great. You're gonna click with multiple people. Okay, you're gonna find multiple people attractive. It's just how the world goes. Okay, you're not the only pretty person in the world. She's not the only pretty person in the world. He, she, they, whatever your pronouns might be. Specifically, I think they go by like he, she pronouns. So I think I'm good with saying that. But yeah, like you're not gonna, like, he's like not choosing, you know what I mean? And I feel like he did recouple with Cachet and did not recouple with Leslie because he wants to just like figure out what is between Cash. I'm so glad Cash picked fucking Charlie, because if she came back single and put all her eggs in fucking singles basket, I was gonna say no through my TV. I was just gonna say no, because that would be the dumbest thing. That'd be the dumbest thing to do, because this man's over here going back and forth between you and Trina and not realizing that like you just have to pick and then you make it work. And I feel like even just in general, like life, there's good, like, it's like you have to make a decision and then just rock with it. Like, you'll never really know what it's like to fully be in love and date someone else unless you fully are in love and date someone else. So you pick from what you know, unless you're gonna fully fall in love and then break up and then fully fall in love with somebody else. But even then, you still have to pick and commit yourself, because there's always gonna be somebody else that you coulda, shoulda, woulda, but you just didn't, because you make a decision. Okay, instead of making these women feel like they're fucking crazy, and Trina over here can't get another couple because no one else sparks her interest, and he's over here waiting like to see what happens. And now we got Charlie in the building, and Charlie is like all for cachet. And I'm just saying, guys, if you do not watch Love Island, if that does not make you want to watch Love Island, if you decided to stay for this part and was like, I'm not gonna watch a show, but I'll just listen because I don't want to skip part in the podcast. If that does not make you want to watch Love Island, I don't know if we can be fucking friends. If we were ever friends, or if you're, just a person that exists that happened to come across this video or podcast and you did not fall in love, you did not get completely, in Cinco's word, intrigued by what I just said, you should just go watch it, because honestly, it's the shit. And it's a great segue into Dating with Dani. So, Dating with Dani, if you guys don't know, is a segment of the podcast where I ask you guys on Instagram for your dating questions. It could be around the world. It could be anything in the world of dating. It could be questions. It could be suggestions. It could be like, what have you done? It could be honestly a question about my dating history, though it's not that crazy right now. You could ask anything, and then me and usually whoever's on the podcast do our very best to help you out. But guess what? It's just me today, because again, that's what it is. So today, it's just me. Hopefully you like my advice, because I don't have anyone else to blame for the bad advice we may or may not give to you. But if you're watching the podcast, sit where you are. We're just going to be right here, chilling, talking, vibing, just like we are right now. I like this. This is nice. But if you're listening, we are going to cut out and we're going to go, this is like just for our YouTube audience. Oh my God. Usually that flows so much better. Am I nervous? Am I nervous just by myself? Just me and the camera? Weird. All right. But yeah, the Dating with Dani is just for our YouTube audience. So if you're listening to the podcast, highly recommend that you head over to the podcast /youtube.com where you can watch this segment right here on YouTube right now. I'm not going to lie to you. It's my favorite part of the podcast, Dating with Dani. Literally answering guys' questions is my absolute top tier favorite thing to do. I think I'm a little bit of a meddler, but I enjoy it. I don't want to change. So if you listen to the podcast, we will see you guys into what feels like a millisecond to you. If you're watching, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes. Alrighty, let's get into it. It's Dating with Dani time. Very excited for this week's questions. They're actually really good. You guys gave me some really good questions. So I'm very I don't know. I do know. I literally just said it. I'm very excited. Am I on focus? Let's pause for a second. All right, we're back. First question with Dating with Dani is, what is the best way to slide into the DMs? What's the best slide in you've got? Now listen, let me tell you something about a slide in DMs, okay? I have slid in a DM before. And when I tell you, I be so clean on a slide in the DMs, but at the same time, I also did it not as a joke, because I wasn't really joking. I was still being serious because the man was fine. But at the same time, I was not expecting a response. So I technically don't really know if that counts as sliding in the DMs, because I actually wasn't let's just say, I feel like there's people who are attainable, on social media, somewhere maybe you guys have roughly the same amount of followers, or you have some mutual friends. This person was we had not at all the same amount of followers. He had a lot more followers than me, and we had no mutual real friends. You know what I mean? So technically it didn't really work, but I also used to do dating apps back in the day, and I used to be so good with opening lines. And my friend Amanda had the best opening lines, and by being my friend Amanda, she would give me good opening lines. But once I got the hang of it, we were pretty saucy in the DMs. I'm not gonna lie to you. Or the DMs are just technically messages. They're just messages. Anyhow, so I feel honestly, the best advice for sliding into someone's DMs, or if you're on a dating app too, and you just want to the opening message, girl, boy, does not matter, or non-binary, nothing matters. This is literally the best way to do it. First of all, if you're on Instagram, just make sure they're obtainable. If you're DM, you might get a girl who has 30 times the amount of followers to look at that message, but you also might not. So keep that in your mind, okay? Keep the back of your little noggin, keep that in your head, but also just come in with some serious, honest, chill ass vibes. Please do not say something which kind of asks your second questions, what's the best? Well, it's not the best. It's one of the worst ones I've gotten, where it's I've gotten I'm so sorry to disturb you, but I have to tell you you're beautiful. That's weird. That's really weird. It's a DM. When it's not a disturbance, I chose to open it if I wanted to, but that's what? I don't even know if that came from this wall or upstairs, but quite on set. Cool. But yeah, that's weird. Don't do that. Or some people are just I don't know if you have a boyfriend, but I pray to God you don't. That's, I guess, not really that bad, but also kind of weird. Just shoot your shot. Just say what you want to say. Make it chill. Make it nice. Kind of cool. Let's just say there's someone like me. I'm an artist. Maybe just a couple videos, a picture. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna slide into the DM, maybe slide in with a picture. No, you know what you should do? This, okay, I have it. I think this is a really good idea. Okay, what you should do is comment on a picture, because what I hate is someone who is not bold enough to talk to me in a public forum. The DMs are secretive. If you're gonna shoot your shot, be okay with you completely missing and the whole world knowing. You know what I mean? Just shoot your shot in public. Honestly, shoot that shit in public. So what I would do is, if you're not sure if they're feeling you, or you don't know their type or whatever go on their Instagram, a pictures, okay? Comment on a picture and see what their response is. Because if they respond a little bit flirty, a little bit oh, thank you, give a little something back to you, then if you get that response, then I would go into the DMs. Because then okay, either they're one, just a super nice person, and fine, they could be a super nice person, or two, they're feeling you, okay? They're feeling you, girl. They got a little look at her, wow, if you get a comment back, a response, something cute matching your energy, That's important. Make sure people match your energy. Then go into the DMs, and literally at that point, you kind of like got them. Like you can kind of hit them with anything. Like be like, oh, that's crazy, and like kind of follow up on your conversation that you had on the picture. But please do not be having a whole long conversation on a photo, because that's weird. That's weird, and everyone's watching, and that's weird. Plus, I think some things, like, people are gonna be more open in a private setting, but you don't want to get to that private setting and then just like be left on scene. Or honestly, you should, and just like shoot your fucking shot and like try one life, you know what I mean? Doesn't really matter. But if you want to see if they're feeling you, can you guys hear that? I swear someone fucking have a parade above me in my apartment. That's nothing I can do about it. See what I mean? Like, just do it. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You know what I mean? Just try. Go into the picture, leave a little comment, see if they respond to like flirty, matching your energy. So make sure when you comment, like, you're also giving them something to like respond to. Like if you just put like a heart and they put a heart, like we're not doing much there. So give them a little do something and see what happens, and then go into the DMs. I feel like that's a good way to do it. So then you're not really like, I was gonna say, so like you're not disappointed, but it's not even really about being disappointed. It's more so just like you just kind of have like a rapport, and you could tell like if they're really feeling you, or if not, you just leave that hella nice ass comment and then like did it. So I think that's the best way to do it. Not to overcomplicate things, but I think that's the best way to do it. What's the best slide in you've got? Honestly, I haven't like dated or even like really talked to anyone who slid into my DMs. Am I lying? Hold on. I didn't think about it. No. They definitely aren't my boyfriends. No. So I don't have like a good one. If someone was trying to slide into my DMs and try to like date me, I don't think it was good because it didn't work. So I don't really have a good one for you. But I hope my way helped you to slide into someone else's DMs. So okay, what's next? Dating with Dani. Okay, let's see. This one just says, wish I had a dating with Dani question, but I'm single as fuck and I'm over it. I respect your honesty, honestly. But you know, at the same time, it's like sometimes being single, like I'm not gonna preach like being single, like fuck yeah, bro, like you should just be single and like learn yourself, and because being single, you can't have sex with yourself. Okay, there's just some levels to being single. Okay, we're grown here. Okay, we're grown here on the podcast. There's certain things you just can't do by yourself that you can literally be over being single for. Like I 100% understand you. Okay, I feel you on that. I'm personally content and single right now, but I know what that also still feels like. But you know, it's like, I just know that from my past relationship, the one I most recently got out of, like if I had not had that relationship, I would not be able to appreciate being single. So if you are really over and being single, like go out there or stay in and go on dating apps and, you know, and get into a relationship if that's something you really want to do. I definitely think there's things that you have to learn while being in a relationship that you can't learn from being single. So if you feel like you really, if you're really over it, girl, do something about it. Literally just do something about it, because it's definitely, being single can feel, you know, it's like there's a difference between being alone and lonely. When you get to a point of where like you're lonely, I do think you gotta like find something within yourself to put yourself out there and to get into a relationship and just make the best decision possibly can, because there's definitely lessons that I personally learned that now I can appreciate being single, okay, and not being in that shit. But at the same time, like, hey, life's short, girl. If you're single, you better still be happy, and if you're not happy, sulk it out, feel bad, do what you gotta fucking do, but then like boss up and like do something else about it. Like change your mindset, get out there, date people. If you don't want to date anyone, you know, keep people that are good company from you. What the fuck? Can I speak English? Maybe. Keep people around who are good company for you, and just, you know, vibe from there. See what you like, see what you don't like. Also, sometimes I feel like, at least for me, like I am a very picky person. Okay. And I know that about myself, but at the same time, I'm not like, I don't have patience for things I can't lead people on because I find it actually annoying as the person leading someone on. I'm like, I don't even want to be here, bro. Like I get hella rude. Like if I'm making myself do something that like I don't want to do, or like kick up people I don't want to kick it with, it's like, no, just like leave the situation. So at the same time, like I get, you know, you might be just taking anything. It gets to a point where you're lonely, where it's like, well, this person's giving me attention, even though he's not really this, he's not really that tall, he's not really that cute, he's not really that. Don't do it, girl. Don't do it. What's that TikTok? It's just like, I'm not gonna do it. Don't do it. It's gonna waste your time. Because then if they do fuck you over, which at some point everyone's gonna do, it sounds pessimistic, but like, you can get fucked over and still be in a relationship. Like it could go bad and then like y'all bounce back, but at some point you're gonna disagree on something. And if it's something that you really disagree on, you're gonna look at that person that you don't even really like, or not even that much attracted to, doesn't make the money you want to, like doesn't live in the city you want him to live into, like whatever it could be, and they're gonna be like, damn, I'm too bomb, too pretty, too rich, too anything to be dealing with this fuckery. To literally be choosing to deal with this fuckery. So don't do it. That was my own tangent. You know what it is? When you do solo podcasts, there's no one to stop my tangents. Well, moving on. Okay. I've got to stop writing down your guys's, like, I write down what you guys put into the Instagram post on my notes, and I think like I need to find another way to do it, because I swear I be typing incorrectly on what you guys say. So if any of these sound illiterate, it's probably me and not how the person said it. All right, let's do one more. Okay, I like this one. It says, I feel like me and this guy really vibe, but he hasn't formally asked me out. We just keep, in his words, kicking it. Is this the friend zone? LOL. Cute. I wouldn't say it's the friend zone necessarily, because he's choosing to spend time with you. I think it depends on how you're reading that, like how you're interpreting that. Because if this guy keeps asking you out, and when you hang out, you're doing like more datey stuff, then that's his choice in vocabulary, is kicking it. Or he doesn't really want to, he might not know where your head's at, so he doesn't really want to say like, hey, can I take you out? Like, he doesn't make it very like, grand or whatever like that. But at the same time, he's asking you to hang out consistently, so I would think that he's probably like, into you to some extent. I mean, and now if you're hanging out with him and it's just like you and the bros, you know what I mean, like hella friends, or you're doing like a real friendship shit, like helping someone move, I don't know, then you're probably just a friend. But if you're catching a vibe, which you clearly are, because you asked the questions, you might be a little bit fancying him. No, I think I don't think you're in the friend zone, girl. Especially if you're hanging out like consistently. I don't know if you're in the friend zone, but if you want to figure it out, just ask, literally. Or like if you want to be a little bit more sly with it, okay, you could say something like if he's like, oh, what are you doing this Sunday? Is like, you could say something like, come on, like when's the next time we're going out? Make it like, say the word and see how he responds to him. Like, don't just say like, oh yeah, when's the next time you want to link up? Like, no, say like, oh yeah, like, I can't go out, the weekend, but I'm down for a date on Saturday. You know what I mean? Like, say choice words, okay? And then just like see the vibe. And even if it gets like a date, like we're dating, then at least you open the door for being like, well, yeah, that's what we're doing. That's here. That's what I would say. That's like my banter. But if you're a little more reserved, you just like say some choice words and see how he responds, and so you can have like an idea, because I feel like that's weird. You're not gonna know what, like, can I touch him, does he want to kiss me? Like, that's weird to not know what the fuck's going on when you're with someone. I find that very uncomfortable. So especially if you want to date this man, like, just ask. Or be sneaky. I would choose the sneaky route. I would say choice words. That's me. But if you're like hella bold and you just want to be like, so what the fuck going on? Like, are we dating or not? Like, you can do that. You could totally do that. And I support you in anything you want to do. I really, really do. I personally would make it sneaky. But like, if you just want to know, depending on how long this charade's been going on, just ask, girl. Like, I don't think you're in the friend zone. And even if you are in the friend zone, like, I would at least want to know where the fuck I am, kind of thing. But if you're getting a vibe, you're feeling his vibe, then he might just be a little bit nervous and doesn't know how to, like, say that shit. So you gotta like give him a little nudge, a little, you got this. I believe in you. Ask me out. Say those words. Because if you don't say the words, it's not a date. Like, and let me tell you that, because I have been on some dates where it's not a date. Like, it's absolutely not a fucking date. But then I get there and I'm like, this is a date. And I get tricked. I get hoodwinked. So I get that. So that's technically a lie. I take what I say back. You can definitely be on a date and not be asked on a date. But like, if it's to you and him an actual date, someone has to say that shit, or it's actually not a date to someone, or let's say it possibly could not be a date to someone. And I would want to know if I'm on a date with someone, especially if I want to date this person. So just ask them or be sneaky about it, or stay in this confused zone and have fun kicking it. But I'm too grown to kick it with nobody. Like, I need to know what the fuck going on. So I would say just peace of mind, girl. Figure that shit out. Ask him, say in a stinky way, use choice words, but you're too pretty, too bomb, and honestly too grown to just be over here kicking it. Like, you got this. I believe in you. You're a strong woman. You are, just in the sentence, a woman, and being a woman, we don't kick it. We don't kick it. Okay? We're too old to kick it. You better be dating or this is my friend. Like, dating or friend. But you gotta know the difference, okay? Unless you're cool with just kicking it. I feel like I'm always in this space of like saying something and then immediately going back and being like, unless that's what you want, in which case I support you. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. I feel like we should have a dating with Dani, after. You know what I mean? Like what happened when we gave you the advice? Did you go for it? Did you not go for it? So if you ask your question and you want to I would love if you ask dating with Dani questions and we answer it and we give you some, little nugget of advice that you honestly just DM it's me. What the fuck am I talking about? DM me and just be like, hey, it worked. It worked to have you in love. Or I dropped that nigga like a bad habit. Whatever you got to do. I actually want to know how it goes. I want the after. You know what I mean? So if you're asking dating with Dani questions, do that. And if you have any dating with Dani questions, feel free to DM me at the podcast on Instagram, where we ask the little dating with Dani. Every time I do an episode, I just put on a poll. Is it a poll? No, it's like a drop, like an answered, one of those little box things. And I just ask, for you guys to send in your dating with Dani questions. So if you have any, feel free. You can honestly just words. You can honestly just DM me at any time and just title that shit like dating with Dani, and then it'll just be there and I can just have it. But also right before I do an episode, I will put up a poll and you guys can ask your dating with Dani questions. And usually this is where I would say me and whoever's with me will help you with your dating with Dani questions, but it's just me. So honestly, it might be me and whoever's with me, or it's just me. You know what? You always will have me. I'm always there. Okay? Remember that. Okay, and back to the podcast. Alrighty, this is the end of the podcast. Dating with Dani was great as always. Honestly, for this episode, I know I gave that whole lead in with if it's only for the YouTube audience, but because I think this episode might be a little bit shorter, to be honest, because it's just me, I might just keep it in. Would that be crazy? I don't know, but I feel like it's a lot easier to talk to somebody else when somebody's here. I think I maybe bounce off them a little bit more than just talking to myself. Though honestly, this has been really, really, really nice. Honestly, quite therapeutic. So yeah, if I did end up leaving it in, I hope you guys enjoy dating with Dani, watching and on the podcast. If I didn't, this will never even be the scene. It won't even be heard. So yeah, it's going to be a surprise to me and you as the viewers/listeners what I did. But that's really it. I feel like, wait, do I have anything else to talk about? I have no idea. Honestly, I feel like I should leave a suggestion. I should leave suggestions for you guys to drop in what you want us to hear or what you want to hear me talk about in the podcast, or guests that you'd like to have me on or would like to have on the... You would think I could speak English because it's the only language I know, but apparently not really well. So if you have any suggestions on who you want to see on the podcast, what you guys want to hear on the podcast, is it more dating and advice? Is it more career and music industry driven? Let me know what you guys want to hear about, what you want to do with it. And yeah, until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I really, really do. If I think of anything else to say, I'll add it right here. All right. Bye. Oh, wait, shit. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Let me do the outro. If you're listening to the podcast and you want to watch the YouTube version of this, then go ahead and go to the podcast /YouTube. That's MHMM, the podcast, all one word, on youtube.com, where you can watch this full episode and some extra tidbits and obviously episodes we've done in the past. If you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure to rate and like this 5 stars or 5. I don't really know if it's stars or a point system, but I would really appreciate it if you do, because obviously it bumps us up there and gets more people involved and more listening. Hopefully I can start making some money, because I bought all this shit and I've made not a dime back. So if you're on Apple Podcasts, make sure to rate this one. A good little cute little 5 stars if you want to. I don't know if Spotify does that, so if you're on Spotify, hi, I hope you enjoyed your time here. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and share, and definitely subscribe to this to anyone who you think might need a little bit of a dating advice, or honestly is just bored. I love watching video podcasts and vlogs. So, just like, it's a community, and I love to hear from you guys. Like, I appreciate your support so much. Like, the 25, 30 people who watch the episodes, like, I'm so incredibly beyond grateful for. So, please comment and let's talk, or if you have my number, fucking text me eventually. You watch the thing. I would love to hear from you and see how you guys are liking it, because I really do enjoy doing it. If you know me, well, I'm assuming it's not that big of a group of you guys. I'm assuming you know me, that you know I do music. I will be dropping some new music soon, but as always, down below will be linked to my Spotify, Apple Music. It's just a link to all my music in general. I have a couple singles out right now, and we're coming with some new heat, okay? And I don't want to hide that. But we're coming with some new heat, and it's a little bit different, so I'm really excited. That's going to be dropping in a few months, so definitely going to keep you guys posted. If you enjoyed it, I'm happy you did, because I enjoyed it, and I'm glad I pushed myself to do a solo episode, because I was not going to, and I'm really, really glad that I sat down and did this. Not that I have anything else to do, because literally my knee is crippling me, but I'm glad I did this, and I'm glad that you guys got to share this experience with me. So I hope you really liked it. If you did like it, comment, again, rate on Apple Podcasts, and until next time, we'll see if my friends don't flake.